John chapter 1 verse 7 it says, God sent John the Baptist to tell everyone about the light. And then the bit that really hit me was, so that everyone might believe because it was spoken to me. And I was like, that's going to be really good. Yeah, I came to really know God, which is kind of similar to like Ed's story because of my brother too. And I was just chilling at home, and he came to talk with me, and we were pretty close. We just talked about everything, and it was really God that opened God opened my eyes, but Sean really opened my eyes to the fact that God loved me too. And I didn't know how to respond, and I always knew there was a God, but I was fortunate enough to go to Catholic schools too, but God always seemed so far out of my reach, like too big, and he had to be, in my mind, a certain criteria to fit this God out there. But listening to Sean was like a huge eye-opener, and then we realised that there was a pretty awesome God out there who wanted not only for me to find him, but really loved me, to have a father-daughter relationship with me. And I thought that was really great. And so when I was finding out about God more, I went to church and youth and alpha courses and met loads of really great people. And I really felt like I belonged, which was really nice because I've always been quite insecure about who I was and who I've been hanging out with. And the people at church were just so nice. They were like little beacons of light of what Christianity is and God's family. And then I went to interviews for the first time with Ed. And at first I was scared, but I had great friends. And I went with the intention of counting God. And God really set down the foundations for everything to come that year. And he'd give me great friends and a great boyfriend who I'd grow with as a person and a Christian. And I wanted to get baptized straight afterwards. I was ready. I wanted to just be a Christian for my entire life because I met God in a great way. I wasn't 100% ready yet. But God's transition to me in my life was a bit of a slow one, and I didn't realise until just recently. Because after the first interviews, I was the living example of a famous C.S. Lewis quote: "There are far more better things ahead than any that we leave behind." And the person I was leaving behind was a sinner. No, I was far from perfect. Amazing. And my life was really going to change. And God and Christianity made me so happy. So I continued to go to church, and there was a few low points, but God was always there, and he always pulled me through. And he made me feel really worthy. And this God loved me and didn't give up on me, even though I thought that he had. And then the second interviews came, and I was more mature as a person, and I was so hungry to find out more about this God. And I studied more and learned a lot from my friends. And this time around, it was more about me declaring my response to him, because I learned so much more about him, but I didn't really know what to do about it. But he set this little fire in my soul, and I wanted to ignite it, and so we did. And he stirred up this huge passion in my fiery little heart for love for him, and I gave myself to Christ completely. And so, yeah, I didn't want to wait to the future anymore. I wanted to be a Christian now and live for Christ now, and every time I prayed it felt more loved and stronger in my faith. And I had a Holy Spirit night as well. I went through the similar process with Ed, and it was just amazing how we both went through these experiences together, and it was really like God. And I wasn't bothered about being part of the in crowd at college or anything. They didn't really know God. I was so different, but I really loved that. And I've grown more confident with God. So what if people think I'm weird? And my faith was to begin at the end of my comfort zone, so I let go of it. And I was there and God and took a leap of faith, and God just didn't catch me. He really embraced me. And I felt his arms around me when I was genuinely 100% turned from my old sinful self into God with open arms, and I was overwhelmed. I was no longer lukewarm in my faith or just an anxious little person. I wanted to live outside of the box, and because living normally like everyone else just wasn't working for me. And I learned to interviews and about being Christian is just so different. And now I'm ready to be open and to stand out as a Christian. And as a Christian example for everyone, so that maybe one day someone would come to church who was just like me. They didn't know God, and they didn't know people like light shining, and they could see God in me. And at the beginning I started off with Once Upon a Time, a Storm story, and it kind of feels too good to be true. And I've got this big Disney badge in heaven who's like the director of the story, and I've been saved by Jesus, the superhero, and I've got hands and fins. And I've gone through a lot and moved mountains with God. But today marks an hour of signs. What's happened to me inside, and although it's the end of my story now, it's really a beginning. Because God's directed my life in a brilliant new direction. And from Timothy, chapter 6, verse 12, I'm taking hold of the eternal life to which I am called. Thank you.
Katrina is going to read your baptismal verse. She's chosen a verse for you. In fact, I think she's got 2 verses. I think she's been greedy. And then she's then going to pray for you also. Thank you, Katrina.
Yes, I've been greedy on your behalf. So. Your first baptismal verse comes from Proverbs chapter 3, 5 and 6. Very well-known verses. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. And then turning over to Zephaniah, chapter 3, 17. The Lord your God is with you, the mighty warrior who saves. He will take great delight in you. In his love he will no longer rebuke you, but will rejoice over you with singing.
Amen.
Father, we thank you for this lovely young lady, Zoe. We thank you that she is so special to you, that you loved her enough to send your son to die in her place. Father, we thank you that as Zoe has admitted today, this is just the beginning of her future in you. And we want to pray all of the blessing of knowing you, the blessings of the Spirit into her life, everything that you have for her future, that she will lay herself open before you and submit to you and acknowledge you in all of her ways, that she might flourish in all that you have for her. In Jesus' precious name. Amen. Amen.
Lorraine, baptise Zoe. Your time.
Zoe, on confession of your faith, I now baptise you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Well done. As you guys, you're free to go.